DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Another opening day, PK. It's like a passage of time. Marking the days, the months, the years as they go spinning by. Mm-hmm. Jay Drew has been to many of these.
Oh, this is his 47th year covering BYU.
And he's doing it again. Jay Drew, good morning.
Good morning, guys.
What are you most looking forward to hearing and talking about? What's at the top of your to-do list?
Oh, boy. Unlike most years, there's just not anything that really stands out or is a main storyline, or like last year, obviously, with the quarterback situation. And the year before, probably the same thing. This year, there's really nothing that really kind of jumps out. I guess the biggest thing would be the new coaches. Kelly Papinga is the new defensive coordinator. They brought in Lewis Walker and DeMario Warren to coach the secondary. So I would guess that would be probably the biggest question mark. How are they going to replace Jay Hill and all that he brought to the program, and Gennaro Guilford? So that would probably be, I guess, the biggest thing. I know that's not juicy, and that's nothing to do really with the actual players themselves, but that's kind of the thing that I guess stands out the most for me.
I've been reading the stuff in the Deseret News as they profile each of the teams. And so BYU's going into this season with high expectations. For a lot of folks, it's get to the conference title game, get to the playoff, and go from there. And it's probably a worthy goal at this point. How do you think BYU stacks up relative to the competition and the main competitors in the Big 12?
Yeah, I think there's, even with Texas Tech's quarterback situation, I still think they're the most talented team, the best team with the best, off-season acquisitions out of the transfer portal and the best returning players coming back. So I think Texas Tech is probably still a cut above everybody. I would group BYU, Utah, Arizona in kind of a little second tier. I'm probably leaving out one other team that
K-State maybe, TCU.
Oh, yeah, or Houston, I think. Houston. A lot of people are talking about Houston. So, but, I think BYU's right there. I was really impressed last year with how Utah finished and with the bowl game. And I know they got a new coach, but I really like Utah's quarterback situation. I think Utah's got the better quarterback situation than any team in the conference. Including BYU and including Texas Tech, with basically two guys that are, you can rely on. So, but anyway, I would put those teams right there. And as you look at the season, I think the one thing you really got to consider is Texas Tech has a pretty easy schedule as far as their conference games. They don't have to play BYU or Utah. Most of their tough games are at home. So I think you got to really consider that, and then looking at BYU, there's some definite landmines out there for BYU that I don't know if fans are really paying attention to. For instance, BYU, after they play Notre Dame, has to go to UCF, and UCF has a bye the week that BYU is playing Notre Dame. That's got to be a tough one. BYU has to go to TCU, where they've never really – I think they've won one game there in 20 years. And so that's another thing you got to consider is not only who are the best teams, but who have the most favorable schedules.
PK was at that TCU win. He remembers it well. He's got stories.
Oh, I was Jay Drew before Jay Drew.
See?
Yeah. And don't forget Rhiannon Potke.
How can I forget Rhiannon Potke? It's at the tip of my tongue at all times.
Absolutely.
You've written a lot leading up here to the opening, and people can go into the Deseret News, go to Deseret.com and read it. One headline will catch everybody's eye. Is it college football playoff or bust for BYU football in 2026? Given how good they've been the last 2 years, as you cite in the story, 23-4, and given the fact that Kalani had serious interest from Penn State and people thought they were going, and BYU ponied up even more resources to make football better, does the answer to that question have to be yes?
I don't necessarily think so. That's a tough one. I mean, a lot of crazy things could happen. I would say if Bear Bachmeier plays every game, if he's healthy, then I think there's no excuses. They've set up for this. They're on the track for this. But, things can happen where you got to give them the benefit of the doubt. Ironically, I wrote almost that exact same headline before the basketball season. I said, is it Final Four or bust for BYU basketball? And everybody knows how that turned out. So it was bust, basically. And so with football, obviously with basketball, the reason I bring that up is that, they had the injuries to Richie Saunders at the end of the year, kind of derailed that. So I think you have to leave that kind of window open if something unforeseen happens, and especially at BYU, and we'll probably get into this in a minute, but beyond Bear Bachmeier, I think if there's, speaking of another big question for BYU, it's a backup quarterback. They're just not really anybody outside of Bachmeier who has played that much in a college football game, and so that's another huge thing to consider. And I'm sure as they work with Bear throughout the season, they'll obviously a big emphasis will be on sliding, running out of bounds, just avoiding injury at all costs.
Outside of injury, what do you think would keep potentially BYU out of the conference title game? Meaning, what are their weaknesses?
Yeah, I'm still not sold on the receiver position. I know every time you talk to Aaron Roderick or Kalani Sitake or Kalani, they think they're okay at receiver. I don't. I'm not sold yet on the Kyler Casper they brought in from Oregon, mostly because he didn't play that much at Oregon. I'm not sold yet on JoJo Phillips. They've talked about potential every year with him, and he just never seems to break out. I know last year he was injured. He had the broken collarbone, so that set him back. But I think it's just a huge loss that, obviously Chase Roberts ran out of eligibility. Parker Kingston, that situation's been well documented. Cody Hagan retired medically from football. I just don't see BYU having a go-to receiver and or a guy that can take the top off of defenses consistently, a speedster, a burner. JoJo Phillips might be that guy, but he just hasn't proven it yet. Tiger Bachmeier might be that guy, but he didn't have a great year last year. So that would be the number one question is just do they have a playmaker outside of L.J. Martin on that offense?
How about that freshman from Lehigh?
Yeah, I've heard a lot about him, Legend Glasker, cousin of linebacker Isaiah Glasker. He had a great spring. We didn't get to see a lot of it. We'll have to take their word for it for a lot of that. But yeah, he's a good one. But I mean, he's a true freshman. Very rarely do you see a true freshman step in at receiver. I mean, I know Austin Collie way back in your day, Patrick, was a great receiver as a freshman right out of the gates. But yeah, I just can't think of any others that have been that great right out of the gate for BYU.
We all belong outside. We're drawn to nature, whether it's the recorded sounds of the ocean we doze off to, or the succulents that adorn our homes. Nature makes all of our lives, well, better. Despite all this, we often go about our busy lives removed from it. But the outdoors is closer than we realize. With All Trails, you can discover trails nearby and explore confidently. With offline maps and on-trail navigation, download the free app today and make the most of your summer with All Trails.
Do you believe special teams, if they're in close games, or special teams especially place kicking, but all of them, we've seen teams lose games on punt returns and block punts. Are they going to be good, or are they going to be great?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be great, and they're going to replace Will Farron and Sam Vanderhaar as their kicker and punter with guys that are just unproven and untested. So I mean, the jury's still out on that, and that'll be a big point of emphasis here in camp is to give those guys a lot of work, a lot of game experience and game situations. And speaking of Parker Kingston, they're really going to miss him. He was a great punt returner. He returned 2 or 3 punts for touchdowns for BYU in his career. He was also a little bit of a wild card back there. He did have a few drops and made some questionable decisions, but that's another area, kick returner and punt returner, where they really don't have a proven guy doing that. So special teams is a huge question mark. You got Justin Anna coming in to replace Kelly Papinga as the special teams coordinator. Papinga was really good at that. I think he's probably underrated as a special teams coordinator. And I'm not saying that there'll be a big drop-off, and Justin Anna has done it before at other places such as Utah State. But you're right, David. That's a big question mark is special teams.
I think part of the deal of a coordinator is getting the kids to believe in what you say is gospel. And I've seen that. I've seen it on both ends where they didn't believe anything you said, and they did believe what you said. And Jay Hill was one in which they definitely believed in what he said. What do you think the acclimation period is going to be for Kelly Papinga now running the defense? Because, and I know he's got assistants there and special assistants, whatever you call them. But in the moment, it's going to come down to what he's thinking there and then how much the kids believe in it and be able to execute it.
Yeah, that's a good point you bring up. I think the fact that they were able to retain a lot of those defensive guys, and they even kept some of those guys away from Michigan, like a Faletau Satuala, the kid from Bountiful. Others had opportunities to go elsewhere. And I think it was really telling that they did stay when Kelly Papinga was made defensive coordinator. To me, and, I'm not in the meetings. I'm not obviously there at a lot of the practices and all that. But to me, that was a pretty good sign that these guys are on board with Kelly. From everything we've heard in at the golf outing the last couple of days and throughout the off season is these guys really like Lewis Walker, the cornerbacks coach that they brought in basically to replace Gennaro Guilford. It seems to me every player I've talked to really, really likes him. DeMario Warren is kind of Kelly Papinga's guy, a guy that Kelly really wanted to bring in. He worked with him at Boise State. Of course, DeMario was the former Southern Utah coach. So I think the players really like this defensive coaching staff, and I think that means a lot.
Jay Drew joining us, BYU kicking off camp today. Do you see the investment that they put in the team directly? Is it obvious? Sometimes when they invest in programs, it's really obvious and you can see it. You see it happen and you see the energy they get from it. Other times it's more behind the scenes. Can you put your finger on what's happened? Because that was such a big offseason with Kalani staying and the offer from Penn State in the match. Can you see how that's already moving the program forward, or is that one of those things that maybe you don't see until you see the results down the line?
Yeah, I can't really point to anything outward and say, yeah, that's a definite, sign right there. I guess, maybe a cynic would say, well, why weren't they able to keep Jay Hill? Why weren't they able to put up more money to keep him from Michigan? But from everything I've heard, and maybe you guys have heard the same thing or maybe not, that Jay was pretty much going to go to Michigan. The money wasn't a factor for him. When Kyle got that job, it was kind of always Jay Hill's dream, maybe to work with Kyle again and to go to a big-time blue blood program. So, maybe no amount of money would have – that's what I've heard anyway, that no amount of money would have kept him in Provo. But as far as other outward, like, signals or signs or anything, I can't sit here and say that I've seen anything yet. I mean, obviously, we'll probably know more over the course of the next month or two. But, yeah, I can't really point to anything and say, oh, yeah, that's where kind of an influx of money or resources has taken place.
The BYU golf tournament for the media was last week. I don't know where you finished, Jay, in your group, but the only thing I know is you didn't finish first.
Did you read my article? I'm just wondering because I haven't heard from you I literally put your name in my article as the team
I got
that
it
won.
up on the wall at home. I sent it to all my family.
Oh. I just thought, the minute that thing hits the interwebs, I'll be hearing from PK. But no. But no, we were not good. We were We were below middle of the pack, but not rock bottom. Let's put it that way.
You weren't bombing them like you usually do?
No, I'm too old for that. No, we. I'll say this: we stuck to media members for our team, and I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. Oh, accusations of a ringer? Is that what I'm hearing? A little passive aggressive?
Oh, wait. You're complaining now that you got beat by a girl?
Absolutely, and then the Mitch Harper. I mean, I'm interviewing. I'm asking him, "Hey, who was on your team?" And he's like, telling me guys I've never heard of. And I'm like, "Who's that?" And he goes, "Oh, that's my brother-in-law." I'm like, "Good grief! How did they let that team sneak on there?"
Well, we had two media guys who bailed on me, so what the heck?
Yeah, no, I'm not pointing fingers. I'm congratulations.
I mean, if you're going to point fingers, you might as well give Jackie top billing. I'm reading it right now. You gave PK top billing. Jackie was second, but PK is painted as the star.
I can't wait till it cools down. I'm going to just revel in that blanket from Minky Couture.
Was it a BYU blanket? I didn't get a good look at it.
I don't know.
Oh, you haven't opened it yet? Okay.
Actually, it is opened, and it's on a spare bed right now. I saw it, but it's folded, so I haven't looked at it. I heard it was supposed to be, but I don't know. And I'll wear it with pride. I'll use it with pride. Absolutely. I'm not like you. I don't hate BYU.
Oh, we had to go there, didn't we? Oh, starting out the season just right, just perfect.
Hey, it's just the fact that you protect BYU. We need to know who got the golf cart stuck. You wouldn't name names, Jay. This is you protecting BYU. So you've got that going for you. You can be hated for protecting BYU and hating BYU at the same time. Join the club.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to throw one kid under the bus. So,
Did you know that Jay Drew had the unique experience of playing the same golf course without leaving on 2 separate days?
yeah, absolutely. Thanks for bringing that up. Yeah, and I was in Alaska during the summer solstice in June 21st, I think it was, and teed off at one day and finished the next because it's there's only 4 hours of darkness up there or the summer solstice. So, yeah,
Man.
That was kind of a fun little thing to do.
The phrase "I'd like a late tea time" carries new meaning, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's absolutely. And a funny thing about that, when I went to tee off, they said, or when I signed in, they said you'll need bear spray, because there's so many bears. This was in Anchorage, Alaska, and everybody has to buy bear spray. And then the guy said, if you hit the ball into the woods, just don't go get it for 2 reasons. 1, bears, obviously, and 2, poison oak.
You've convinced me.
So, guys, I lost 9 golf balls on that 18 holes. 9 golf balls because I took them dead serious, man. I wasn't taking one step into those woods.
You remember that one time we were up at Wasatch Mountain and you were looking for a ball by the woods and a deer jumped out and it just scared the crap out of you?
Yep. I'm afraid of my own shadow.
And
so
I'm over there laughing like crazy.
Oh, man. Can't take you anywhere, PK. It'll come back to haunt me.
All right, Jay, I think we've done enough damage here. PK's work is done. We will let you go. Go enjoy day 1 of yet another college football camp.
Yep, my 19th for covering BYU, so It's going to be a fun one.
Yeah. Now, how many years did you cover the high schools for? Because it seems like you're way past it now.
About 14, yeah. Okay. I think I was around 14 years I did high school, so, yep, been around a long time.
Jay, we appreciate it. Thanks for joining us. Good luck. Enjoy the day.
Okay, guys. Thanks for having me on.
There's Jay Drew. You can read him, Deseret.com. Check out their sports page archive. He's got a lot of stories up there, and he covers the golf tournament in excruciating detail. The interesting stuff in that story was that when you're new to the Cougar program and you've been other places in college football, it kind of blows your mind that this is happening.
Why?
Not every coach wants to go out and have a golf tournament and hang out with the media.
Okay, sure. Yeah,
and it's just like, why? Well, it's just like, well, this is how Kalani is wired. This is who he is, and this is what he wants to do. And these are the kind of relationships and bridges he wants to build. So it's different.
Yes, I think BYU has done a really good job as far as that and accommodating the media.